Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Mr. and Mrs. X issue number 11. Another fantastic issue. This is just one of the best books out there, and yet it's being canceled after the next issue. Why is that? Well, I'll explain what I believe is going on. But anyway, more on that a little bit later. First, let's talk about the issue itself. Pretty good issue that got a little slow towards the end. After we talk about who made the comic book. All right, so the Ronnie James Dio title of the week has to be The Lady and the Tiger, part 1 of 2. Kelly Thompson is the writer, artist Oscar Basildoa, Frank D'Armata on colors, VC's Joe Sabino on letters, and the Thompsons do the cover art. The Dodsons, you know, those two, Terry and Rachel doing the cover art, and graphic designers Jay Bowen, Anthony Gambino. Aye, so this was cool. Like, Gambit has to go solo because, you know, here's this thing. Kelly Thompson's got this thing about her where she likes to do this strange thing that most other people in comic books seem to completely ignore. It's called continuity. You know, one of the main draws of Marvel since its inception back in the day. Yeah, like that. Right? She's got this understanding of continuity. You know what else she does? She tells us what happened in the previous issue. You know what else she does? We get a whole bunch of the little narrator's notes saying, oh, hey, you know, when I was doing such and such, and then all of a sudden here's a little asterisk. Look, editor's note. This is when that, you know, this is the issue where that happened. This is where that story occurred. It's like, wow. You mean you're telling me other things that I should read too? Oh, joy! How come everybody else doesn't do that? Yeah, it happens in some other comic books, but some, not all, and that is a major character flaw in comic books today. I'm just saying. All right, so, yeah, that happens a few times. There's a whole bunch good to say about this comic book, man. Plus, like, the return of Chandra? Whoa, external extraordinaire? Former patron of the freaking Thieves Guild? Dude, not cool, man. Not cool, because she's talking about taking over from King Gambit. Gambit's been gone for too long. He decides he's got to make an awesome show of things. And listen, my peeps, when I say awesome, that's just not me throwing in some filler there. He straight up comes in like a boss and then just puts everybody down. He puts down almost everybody. I can't sit here and lie about it. He does eventually get taken down. And then what happens? Gets strung up on chains again. Listen, man. Look, man. This is not insider information. What I am saying is I get the distinct feeling that one of Kelly Thompson's favorite stories has something to do with various shades of gray. Because these two are constantly strung up on chains. Rogue shows up a little bit later on. Guess where she ends up? Oh, man, I'm going to have to go and start reading some Shades of Grey and all that stuff, man. I heard there are 50 of them, but there may be infinite. Who knows? Anyway, this was a good book. Now, let's be honest. Towards the end of the book, it started to get a little bit repetitive. It started to get a little bit, I don't know. It felt like the last 3 pages or so dragged a little bit. That's okay. There's only 2 stories. There's only 2 parts to this story. And the next issue is the final issue because the book been canceled. I know there's going to be a bunch of people out there talking about, well, I guess Kelly Thompson's not that good of a writer, and I guess Oscar Basildoa isn't that good at art. And just say VC's Joe Sabino ain't that good at letters while you're at it. Just say what you got to say, man. Get it out. Oh, by the way, Frank D'Armata, awesome job also. All I'm saying is, nah, bro. You got to blame Mr. Hickman for this. See, this is where it comes into a serious double-edged sword because everybody's sitting there talking about, oh, Hickman is going to write the X-Men. Mind blown, right? Well, yeah. There's some good with that. There's also some bad with that. Namely, Rosenberg has been effing killing it on Uncanny X-Men as of late. As far as I'm concerned, he just, like, this is not just one story where he showed up and he's like, oh, well, let's start right. He's incorporating the stuff that he did with Multiple Man. He's incorporating the stuff he did with Magic. Not just Magic, but the New Mutants. All this other crazy stuff that he's been doing. He's just like, let's throw this all into the mix and make it a really cool smorgasbord. And I'm just saying, usually you hear the word smorgasbord translated to buffet. You get a little rumbly and you tumbly, right? You go a little Winnie the Pooh. To I could use a smackerel of honey. And all that other crap on the table because damn, I'm hungry. Look, man, right now, Rosenberg is killing it on Uncanny X-Men. It is a genuinely believable story. And it really feels like an X-Men story where these people are, they're dying. The X-Men, like, they got no shot at it. The other books, there's some good, there's some not so good. You know, the other Age of X books, it is what an Age of X-Man books is what it is. Some are good, some are not so good. There are two of them I like. Vita and Ed, they're doing really good jobs in their books, particularly. The other ones I kind of fell off on. But, you know, Kelly Thompson was also involved in the first, 10 issues or so of Uncanny X-Men? Did a pretty good job. Aside from, like, you know, making the Kaaba disappeared, I wonder if we're going to get those religious structures back. But aside from making the Kaaba disappear and causing a whole bunch of Muslims to just be like, ah, and just lose their mind. Aside from that, this is a hell of a run, man. I mean, you got Mr. and Mrs. X staying in continuity, moving away from all the crazy stuff that's going on, being allowed to free roam, and just make an excellent book with just these two characters. And, you know, they brought the Starjammers were in some really good stuff. And that's the other edge of the sword. That's the sword that cuts both ways. You know what I'm saying? Chop down your enemies. You go and pull your sword out the wrong way, you get chopped also. Then who pulls the sword out of you? Hickman coming in is a good thing, but it's not a solely good thing. There is, in my opinion, no reason on earth to cancel Mr. and Mrs. X. No reason on earth to cancel the Uncanny X-Men. I say you should have let these people tell their stories. There are stories out there that have no business being told, and they're just allowed to keep on going. DC Comics. But, you know, go check out some of my other reviews, some of which came out this week for that. But it's a shame. It's a shame. So, like I said, double-edged sword. It's cool that Hickman's coming in. Is the timing right? I don't know that the timing is right. I really don't, because I think that these are stories that should have been played out. I think that these are stories that maybe there could have been working with people on this, whatever. You know what? I'm hoping that at some point we do wind up getting I don't know, a reining in and a sharing of the reins, because these stories should have been able to keep on being told. Some of these are freaking fantastic stories. Mr. and Mrs. X, Uncanny X-Men, absolutely at the top of that list. So yeah, not happy with this. Anyway, is what it is. So next issue, the final issue. I hope the sales and trade are going to be great. I hope that the fans will show with their dollars, you know, the main vote that we have, that we actually still want to see these stories. I mean, there's a chance, you know what, like the Ultimate Universe, why not something like that? All right, they're doing the Gamerverse right now. How about introducing mutants into the Gamerverse? There's a lot of different ways that we could go to continue telling these great stories. Hopefully some writers and artists are allowed to explore those avenues. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.